Well, I think that two main things that the Conservatives are trying to focus on in this campaign. One is Cameron's message of it's either me or it's Miliband. So they're convinced that on the prime ministerial stakes they've got the advantage, so they're going to push hard on the fact that Cameron, they argue, is a more competent prime minister and a more prime ministerial figure. So I think we're going to see a lot of negative campaigning over the next few weeks. And I think the other key message, obviously, the Conservatives are going to be pushing is that you can't trust Labour on the economy. They're going to argue for competence over chaos, as they say would happen if there was a Labour government. So they're really going to push on their economic record and argue that they've turned the country around, they've got the deficit down, things are moving in the right direction. Essentially trying to say to voters that they can't risk a Labour government. So quite a negative message. Labour, on the other hand, are obviously going for maybe a slightly more hopeful message, a more emotional message of this kind of thing, that things could be better, and that we're not kind of trying to connect more with voters and show empathy with the situation that a lot of people find themselves in. Well, if David Cameron is ejected from Downing Street in a few weeks' time, I'm sure that he will also very quickly probably choose to vacate his office as leader of the Conservative Party, and if he doesn't, it's likely that he would be ejected from that. So then we'd be looking at a Conservative leadership election. And obviously there are a number of names already floating around. People say might be in that mix. Boris Johnson, perhaps the most dramatic of those figures, but Cameron himself has already named people like George Osborne and Theresa May as potential leadership contenders. So if the Conservatives lose, and they're out of power, I think we're going to see another period, as we saw after 1997, of Conservative introspection and really uncertainty about what direction they should be moving in. Well, my hunch is that David Cameron might just hang on and stay as Prime Minister, whether that would be as a minority government or with some kind of coalition, perhaps even a minority coalition, which could work, perhaps with a significantly reduced Liberal Democrat party as part, continue as part of the government. But obviously the polls are suggesting that there isn't going to be an overall majority at the moment, unless something really turns around in the next few weeks.